What's going on, Doombots? Today is a video that nobody wants and no one's gonna watch. I'm trying to do an objective evaluation of Cull and Ghost. Why? Because it turns out we're gonna have a choice about how we're gonna get our 100 shards. I don't know if it's one or the other. I don't know if we're getting orbs of 25. I don't know. It's one of them. The point is, you have a decision to make. And this decision does not actually matter, and you cannot hurt yourself. You're getting 100 shards of a character. The only way you hurt yourself is if they're both 7-star, or if one is and one isn't, and you buy the one that is. You know, like, this isn't hard. None of this is high tech. So, turn it down a little bit. Let's look at the characters. So, first, we're going to start with Cull. We're going to look at him objectively as a character. So, we're going to start with some pros. The good thing about Cull is he is on meta. Meta, of course, meaning that he is something that is very important to the way the game is played right now. He is part of a team that is on meta. He's an incredibly important part of a team. The team quite literally cannot exist without him. So that's a pro for him. Another pro for him, obviously, is that he is, well, he is a late blooming character. What does that mean? So that means that Cull Obsidian is fundamentally the same effectiveness on your roster at 1, 2, 3, or 4 stars. It's not until 5, 6, and 7 that you fundamentally get the most value. Now, I'm calling that as a pro on his pro side because that's a very good reason to take 100 shards or a lot of shards of a character who needs them, or else he's not going to generate the value as an independent character on the team. Another thing that's very relevant for Cull, that's a pro, and again, this isn't based on him, this is on his decision, is pretty hard to get. So if you're not willing to spend money, if you want to spend money, then everything is just wait for the offer. If you're not willing to spend money, he has very limited availability. He is in premium orbs, not exclusively, but he is in premium orbs as well as in basic and mega orbs. So unless you're pulling premium orbs, basic orbs, or mega orbs, you're very unlikely to get access to Cull. Because of that, he is objectively more rare than Ghost. So we can move to cons. The cons on Cull are pretty similar, and I'm going to try to keep them similar because there is no clear-cut option. It really is what's best for you. The first is Cull is not a good character. You don't just use Cull Obsidian. You're not going to be excited at the premise of getting him. You need him for the team. You need the team for him. On his own, is he okay? Yeah, he's reasonable. You can use him for stuff. I use him for stuff. Do you want to? No. He's like Heimdall. Yeah, he makes the team work. And yeah, with good investment, he really helps the team. But ultimately, he on his own is not going to help you with anything. Another con, Biogear. Cull takes Biogear. He is probably the 7th or 8th highest priority Biogear investment character in the game. And that's saying a lot. There's a lot of Biogear characters that moves on. He needs it, and he needs quite a bit. Now, we're not talking about Dark Dimension viability because he has none, so there's no reason to bring it up. There's also no reason to go into there. But the core of the cons also come into the fact that not only is he not good solo, not only is he a bad Biogear user, he's pretty useless early. Now, this doesn't affect everybody, so you can completely ignore this ability as fast as you can. If you have 0 Cull Obsidian shards, or you don't have Cull Obsidian, and then you get Cull Obsidian because of your decision making in this event, it doesn't matter. the earlier you are in the game, the less valuable Cull Obsidian is, the more likely it's going to be that Cull Obsidian is going to be moved from this game to, or this game mode, the premium exclusive, to some way to access. The longer you wait, the more it is. So if you try to line up your access to Cull in time with your access to the team that makes sense with him, getting him early now gives you 100 shards towards having to wait for the more shards. So early on, useless character. That's the pros and cons for the comparison between these two. He's got plenty of good value. I know for a fact I will probably be taking Cull. If they are making a choice where I can get a split number, I will take whatever it takes to get Cull up to my next star, which for me looks like it would be 50 shards. If I can get 50 shards of Cull, I will bring him up, and that is that for me. I'm looking forward to that. Now we could talk about, and I'll zoom in, I guess, on this in a minute. Boop. There, look, you could read it now, guys. Now we could talk about Ghost, right? Let's do some pros on Ghost. This is very lazy. I'm sorry, I just want to do it. Pros on Ghost. Pro S on Ghost. First, kind of single-handedly ruins Dark Dimensions. Like truly, like on her own, the value you get for her is amazing. You know, you get to just ignore having to build very specific teams, kind of like how Minerva's very strong in Dark Dimension. She has a very similar amount of strength outside of her team, and then with her team it becomes better. She only gets better. So top tier Dark Dimension character, will be useful in every Dark Dimension you ever bring her in. She's kind of a set it and forget it character. Great. Another pro that I think is positive, so this might be a little bit of an opinion, is that she unlocks a legendary. So you need her to get Jubilee. As of right now, there's only 5 Pimtech. She's one of them. That 5, you know, like how early you get Jubilee, we don't know how early the rest of the characters are. We don't know if you can reliably work on building an astonishing X-Men team wherever you are in the game. But let's be clear, we've seen some stuff that's going on right now in Doom War or Doom Raid. We are going to need some mutants, right? We're going to need to gain access to Jubilee. She's a legendary. As far as I'm concerned, any character that unlocks a legendary always gets a little bit higher weight than a character who doesn't. And the characters that are better than the ones who lock legendaries, Emma, Symbiote Spider, well, Symbiote Spider-Man doesn't lock a legendary, but Emma, yeah, like they have to be really good to do it. So to me, the fact that she unlocks a legendary is a pro for her. Another reason to take that. And then another pro is war credits. So this is very simple, guys. War credits. However many shards you take, divide it by 5, and then multiply it by the cost in the war store. If it's all 100, it's 20 times, what is it, 1375, 1400 we'll call it. That's how many war credits you're saving. You're buying her anyway. You have to buy her eventually anyway to unlock the legendary. She's good on her own. It's if you look at it from a perspective of would you rather 100 Cull Obsidian shards or 100 Ghost, War Store credits, it becomes a little bit more meaningful because you are getting those credits back. You don't have to spend them on her, therefore you can spend them on other stuff. So to me, those are the 3 major pros of her. There are some minor ones. Again, don't want to go into opinions. These are just, is legendary unlockable, requires war credits, otherwise top tier Dark Dimension character. Why I think those are more or less important, irrelevant to this. Now we have cons, and cons are relevant. Not as many, surprisingly. The biggest one to start off with is tech gear. and quite a bit of tech gear. Tech is the, I believe, third densest group. I believe the organization of density, and by density I mean the amount of characters that are good within their separation or their group, is mutant. There are more good mutants than average. Like, the average mutant is amazing. So because there's like 20 some odd mutants and 18 of them are stellar at something or another, they're dense with value. So mutant gear is high value. Then we have bio, and bio is like everything else. Bio is the second most dense value. There's a character at any point in time in bio, hell, even Cull's on the list, that's a good value character. She takes tech gear. Tech gear is number 3, the other two being mystic and skill. We all know skill gear is useless. We all know that mystic gear is like a hair over useless. She takes tech gear. There are characters that you would probably get more value out of for the entirety of the game that take tech gear than Ghost. Ghost being good in one thing doesn't inherently mean she's worth all of the gear for other things. Whether you think she's good or useful in other parts of the games, that truly depends on you and where you are in the game. I think she's okay. I use her in some raids, but I wouldn't advise anyone else to. I'm just doing it for testing. So tech gear is actually a big con for her because it takes away gear from characters like most of the Sinister Six and Minerva. Early Guardians teams might need them. Shuri, so many tech gear pieces that there's other options and other things you would probably want to work on that as a tech character prior to Ghost. Now again, if you're already at the end game and it doesn't matter, then that's not a decision, but that's different. That's you to analyze. That's for you to choose. I don't get to pick that. I don't get to say if biogear is a big deal or a small deal. You get to decide that, but that is relevant. Another con she has is like her team sucks. And I know it's weird. Sucks is not fair too. Like, yes, the Pimtech team is okay at doing this and is decent at doing this and is fine at doing this. And it's probably a little bit okay at Dark Dimension as a full team. But like, you're not doing that. Like, no one's doing that. Nobody wants that. So Ghost, look at it from the opposite side. Cull's team is so good that he doesn't even have to be that good for him to be relevant, like Corvus. Ghost is so good, but her team is still at best okay. So that's pseudo objective evaluation. Hopefully, and I'll tell you what I'm gonna do, not to influence you, but to just let you know where I stand. I do believe that Ghost is the better choice. It's my opinion. I don't think that Cull's scarcity makes him a better character, but I also have to admit that they're both fundamentally the same character to me. If you really look, they're both 5-star, 4 red. They both have an investment in ISOs. Cull's a little bit higher. They're both gear tier 14. So for the comparison, to me, it's not great. What I've heard, though, is that we're going to be able to pick 4 orbs, and each of those orbs is going to give us 25 character shards. Because of that, this makes this decision a little bit more obvious. You want to take the character shards that give you the most value across 2 characters. For me, it's 50-50. Why? Because Cull going to 6-star is a meaningful upgrade, as well as Ghost getting an extra 50 shards brings her to halfway, saving me a little bit of time and energy and resources. If it was an all or nothing situation, I'd have to say I think I would get more value out of Ghost, but I would still pick Cull Obsidian, because right now a 6-star Cull Obsidian will be better for me, endgame player, than not spending the currencies to get there. Ghost is always going to be what she is, a good character in Dark Dimension, better for earlier players than necessarily late players, but not that late players make her bad, just not there. Cull is not going to be as good as he is for long. He will still be good in the same way that, let's think, what's the last? Karnak exists. Or the Inhumans team, or the Sinister Six team. These teams are good. They have their purpose. But eventually, and sooner rather than later, the Black Order will not be the best team in the game. It'll just be another good team. And I look forward to that day, but it's really hard to justify a newer player getting Cull Obsidian, in my opinion, than someone like Ghost, because Ghost will consistently provide value as they grow up. Cull is more of a wait-and-see character. Either way, that works out for you. I can't make that decision for you. These are just the objective pros and cons that I have found as to which one you pick. Realistically, I think everyone's just going to pick whatever number levels them up, or if they need Ghost for the unlock, whatever happens. So you're all going to have your own. These are objective evaluations of what makes the characters good or bad. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good night. Have a great day. I've been Tony Scungili, and I'll catch you later.